this could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us.
Gentlemen, this is your host Laszlo.
And this your co-host Quan.
And thank you for tuning in to the Peanut Gallery. It's pretty much a new episode that we're doing since taking a long break from
Very long break.
And this is episode
It was like 5, 6.
we'll go with that. But pretty much this is going to be the so we're gonna call this episode.
Guess we can call it random news. I guess.
We can go, I guess, with the random talk.
Random topic, really.
Yeah. So we pretty much been off from here for a while. He was taking care of things. Well, and I guess you would say what, like personal problems or personal,
pretty much personal issues that were going on with our lives and everything else. And technical difficulties with people that we were working with and that we're not working with.
This will pretty much be the first video for 2019.
Yeah.
So and
kind of late though. It's the new year.
So kind of late for it, but other than that, you pretty much been keeping up with I guess like any of the news or anything that's been going on in the world right now.
Actually, yeah, like the overseas, what happened with the missiles, the bombing over there. I don't know, I forgot where, because I do forget sometimes, so bear with me. But I know 50, what was it, 50,
It was like DC and this bombing. That wasn't
oh man, I'm having a total mind block.
Because because it definitely has been a lot of
too many mass shootings and bombings going on worldwide. It's not just happening in other countries, it's happening all over the place.
Because from last I remember, since the last one I can recall from I guess that Florida nightclub one. Yeah. That happened early last year or the year before that.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was like then there was another one in Florida with the damn kid that
the Sandy Hook shooting.
Then the one dude in the school that in Florida. And then there was a bunch of other mass ones like San Bernardino.
Yep.
Then there was it was like for some reason when it comes to school shootings and like a lot of that, it was like there's a lot of these groups that like for a lot of what I say, like the left wing, a lot of the groups come out saying put stricter laws on gun control,
laws and having teachers with guns, but they don't really understand that if you give a teacher a gun and that teacher's having a hard day through school, it opens a door for many other possibilities. That teacher could go to the bathroom or go in his or her car or go home and take their own life, or go into the school, go into the bathroom, come back out and shoot their students.
And then on top of that, then there's like a lot of the teachers out there that will sit there and say that they don't believe in the guns and all that and don't want to do it, and they'll feel like, oh, they're all trying to force this onto us, like to use guns and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like one thing I say, there's a lot of like people that will say quote unquote pacifists that don't believe in all the violence and all that, or like they don't believe in actually carrying a gun. They'll be more scared to even use it. And the one thing I can say is, if you're trying to shoot somebody out of fear, you're more likely to hurt yourself than the person that is out there causing doing it.
Exactly, but you got to think about it. America, 50% of us love our guns. There's no reason behind it. They just love guns. And then you got like, I say 40% that they like the guns, but there's reasons behind them to why they have them. And then you got the rest of the percentage that really doesn't care if there's guns or no guns. So it's very mixed opinion about it. Just like what happened in Australia, they had like a massacre, and the government got rid of all the guns. So
and one thing I could say is that, like, even though like in theory they say these gun laws and all that are a good thing, but the thing is, you can sit there and put all the laws out there and like all the sanctions, but the thing is for a simple fact that a person can go on the internet or the other side of the web, go purchase a gun through the dark web and all that, and still get their hands on the guns.
Yeah.
Like in Jersey, they outlawed the 100-round beta mag,
Yeah.
and the fucking then like, oh yeah, like an average citizen, they can't get the 100-round drum, but
Right.
if you have malicious intent on someone,
Right.
you can just go online, get that 100-round drum. They be
Exactly.
like, oh, like this person right here, he had a 100-round beta mag. It's like that he caused all this shooting and all that.
Right.
But one story I can say though is that it was a while back when this guy shot up the movie theater.
Yeah.
But the thing was, if it wasn't for that 100-round drum jamming, you could have, how many more people could have been hurt.
Exactly.
And I'm not necessarily saying that it was a good thing or a bad thing, because,
Right.
but the thing is, because of that little malfunction, you could have hurt so many more people.
Exactly.
But yeah, you outlaw it, but then when you start doing research on the person and how they obtained it and all that, you find out they just went out in the streets. So
Exactly.
like one of the best quotes that I've heard that someone says is that the laws only prevent those who will follow them.
Right.
Because it's like when you're going down the street, you see a 25 speed sign.
Right.
You're like, oh, you okay? Like there's have some people that'll go by that 25
Yeah.
mile zone, and there's other ones that you're gonna say fuck it, they just keep going like however fast they want to.
Right. Exactly.
And they think, oh, that was a 25 zone. I'm like, yeah, I know that.
And some of us are guilty, but we ain't gonna discuss that.
Because I'm just saying, because if you think about it, it's like,
But you are right.
because like they're only gonna stop those who's going to
Right.
abide by them, because.
Because laws are, like they say, laws are meant to be broken, but
It's like yeah, they like the AR-15s. They trying to say they're assault, full assault rifles.
Right.
They trying to outlaw them. But the thing is, if I just go on the internet and go out in the streets and all that, and go buy one,
Right.
I'm like, and then it's like, okay.
Like what law? Like what law?
He's like, yeah, they were outlawed, but yeah, I got shit. It's outlawed, but I got my hands on one, right?
It's just like it's like they had prohibition. When they took it away, then they had it. When they took it away, people didn't have alcohol. You know what I'm saying? People couldn't go to stores and buy alcohol. So what they did, they made alcohol in their own little sections and in their own houses and all these other places, and they were having clubs and stuff, and they were selling their alcohol. So it really is not going to solve much.
Because the one thing I can say is, even though the more laws that you be putting on someone, the more likely somebody gonna go out there and break this
Exactly.
shit. Because it's like,
And
oh, we can't do this, we can't do this. Oh, I'm grown, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right, and then nowadays, we got 3D printers and people can make stuff nowadays, so it's not that hard to obtain a gun or a hand grenade or, because you can just go, like the basic stuff to make a hand grenade, you can go get it at your basic local supermarkets. You can get all that materials, Home Depots, wherever, and you can make your whatever you want to do.
And like you said, it's like one thing that can always say is like, oh, if there's one item, it's like even though it's supposed to be used for one sole purpose,
Right.
like when somebody made the hammer, they made it for the sole purpose of hammering the nail.
Yep.
They ain't intent on somebody busting somebody else in the head with that damn hammer.
Right.
See, stuff like that. It's like smart. It's like just like in your automobile. Like the sole intention is to get you from point A to point B,
Yeah.
not mauling somebody the fuck over. It's like
Yeah.
people going to use things. People going to tend to use things for other purposes than what they were intended for originally. Because it's like I guarantee you, the sole purpose of guns were probably like how they were back then. To not only to protect yourself in your home, but also to hunt food and all that.
Yep.
But even though now we live in a society where we don't have to go out and hunt food, or
Right.
you can drive our million to the mile Prius to the nearest Whole Foods and shit for food.
And then on top of that, they mistaken the right to bear arms. They mistaken that whole saying.
Because according to the amendment, they say the right to bear arms for the sole purpose, like just in case you have a tyrannical government,
Right.
like because you got the right to form a militia to protect your own self.
Mhm.
But in retrospect, there's also other people that say that, oh well, a lot of states and a lot of like let's say state by state, they already have like armed forces, so it's not. So it's pretty much trying to say it's obsolete. But here's the thing: these armed forces, they're ran by the government, a governmental entity, and more than likely the government going to use their military.
Exactly.
So, what do you do?
Exactly.
Because
People don't understand that.
and then they say like then there's also a thing of you pretty much will have to have the right to have weapons that equal to what they have.
Right.
Because if they running around with 50 cals and 100 like 1,000 round drums and all that
Right.
shit, it's like, well, we running around with damn handguns and fucking goddamn crossbows and shit. Like, it's like you can't expect to sit there, people like, because one of these days this government, well, as of right now, it's turning against its people.
Yeah, pretty much is.
But also, it's like one of these days we are like even back in the Obama administration, they already started implementing like a martial law,
Right.
where it's pretty much like you pretty much got pretty much under the eye of the military because that's what it is. It's like
Right.
you got a curfew, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Exactly.
We got the military on your back just in case of a riot.
Right.
And then
9 times out of 10, the riots. Sometimes the riots aren't even riots; they're just peaceful protests. They call them riots.
Because it's like because they protesting against certain things that they disagree with. Even though like technically in the U.S. Constitution it says that we as a people have the right to vote out this government just in case if they doing shit that we don't believe in,
Right.
then by the constitutional right we have the right to vote them out and put it forward to a government that we see fit. But a lot of people ain't. But now this ain't the days of 1776 where
Right.
where motherfuckers like.
When you can go in there and have an opinion, and if they don't like it, you go in there and beat them with a cane or something. You know.
It's like because it's like when the Crown was up there putting the Stamp Act, the Tea Act, the Sugar Act, that they like motherfuckers in Boston was like, we ain't having this shit, so we gonna go in your boat and throw all your tea into the tea and right into the damn water because the protest against these damn high ass taxes you trying to charge us.
Right.
It's like you say no taxation without representation.
Yep.
They're trying to say it's like
tar and feather people as well. So.
because, but nowadays it's like they pretty much have us scared.
Yeah.
Because they want to put into your head that if you speak out against us, it's a form of treason, then we can get you out of here.
Right. Even though it's part of our amendment. But if that's the case, then why won't they just change it? You know, because they can change amendments like they did with prohibition.
Yeah, because and the thing is, they sit there and tell you got your constitutional right to do this, that, and the other, but then when the people actually try to use those rights, it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, you don't have the right to do that.
Right.
It's like, which one is it? The only reason you're saying that we don't have the rights because you know those rights will get you out of ours.
Yep. That's the only thing. Because I figure, like, especially if they head towards that, it's going to be somewhat of the purge. If you really look at it, if you really sit down and actually analyze it, it really does look like it. Because you got people out there protesting or causing riots on a government that doesn't support the actual rights, or the rights that are made against them, they're wrong towards the government. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna act out as people. We're gonna voice our opinion no matter what. You know what I'm saying? If it's wrong, it's wrong. So that's what we do, and that's what they're scared of. They're scared of everybody in the United States turning against the government overthrow them to actually make another government. You feel me? So,
because it's just like how it was. Like, even though like when this country was already taken over by the Europeans, from motherfuckers that was already here,
Right.
obviously, because then once they committed a genocide and wiped out a whole group of people,
Yep.
it's like, how do we take this land in the name of the crown? And then all of a sudden, when they got tired of the fucking bullshit from the crown, all of a sudden they want to have a revolt.
right.
And then they got them out of here. Formed another government. You know what? A couple hundred years later,
Yep.
now here it is, it's rearing its head again. But the only thing is, now these motherfuckers got technology to fucking wipe out whole
Pretty
cities
much.
and shit if they want
The
to.
whole grid, they can shut down all the power with just one flick of the switch.
And then now it's like, nowadays it's like, you go ahead and start talking about, oh, I want to leave this country, or I'm gonna do something to like form a new government.
Right.
The first thing they'll do is make you seem like you fucking crazy.
Right.
And if they don't
Exactly.
if they don't make you seem like you fucking out your mind crazy, they will. Then the next step will either get you up out of here, or all of a sudden you're gonna end up looking like a drug addict,
Right.
and they're gonna kill you. They gonna get you out of here
Yeah, either way, they're gonna come get you.
because it's like it's been proven. Like it's been proven, just like with a lot of these damn celebrities out here, or these famous people out here.
Yeah.
The few of them that you know that want to start talking crazy and start talking against this so-called higher
Yeah.
being,
Yep.
all of a sudden, first they end up making them look like they crazy,
Yep.
and then they die from
From unknown circumstances.
unknown circumstances out of nowhere.
And then they'll quote unquote say it as a heart attack or, some type of failure or whatever, just to make it believable.
Because I don't know if you ever seen they had the movie V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's what it's pretty. I have a feeling this shit's gonna start leading towards because like pretty much that whole government right there was openly corrupt.
Yeah.
Openly corrupt. They didn't care because they was in power.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
And then all it took was that one person to at least get the wheels going.
Stand out would be different from, I guess you could say, the norm, the normal.
Because usually it's all it takes. It's only that one person they had that started speaking their mind, or at least because the voice of one doesn't do much, but then as you grow and get power and actually start getting support behind you, then they gonna see it's oh, these motherfuckers are serious.
Right.
It's like oh, they really mean this shit.
Oh yeah.
Then they gonna try to. Then if they don't try to wipe you up out of here, they gonna try to cut a deal. It's like, hey, you causing a disruption.
Right.
Because, like, at the end of the damn day, it's like, it's supposed to be for the people and about the people.
But lately it's not. Basically the government's turned their backs on us.
Because,
In a way, if you look at it, you can really see that. You can see it in the justice system very heavily. You get people that are innocent, they get charged with something that they didn't do, and there's no evidence, but yet they're still in they're still in jail or prison for X amount of years, like 20 plus years, for something that they didn't do.
and then when it's found out, what kind of all they can really say is, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it really doesn't cut it.
Because that I'm sorry ain't gonna bring back the 20-something years that they done lost out on.
Right.
Their kids done grown up.
And, birthdays and births of kids, grandchildren or kids, they missed. Loved ones that have died that they could have seen but they couldn't have because they got locked up.
It's like, they might give them a little bit of money and shit, but that money don't mean
That
nothing.
money does not mean anything. And that's the problem. America uses money as a root, as basically a pacifier for anything that goes wrong. Either money or I can't say it's food, but it's more money. But they do throw food or like all the other crap in it, but it's mainly money.
Because that's pretty much what this damn country was pretty much founded on anyway.
Yeah, money and greed.
Because it's like if you and plus like it's and to this point we got to the point where we as a society of people, it's like we've been so much on strictly about ourselves, we don't even see what's going on outside the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because all of a sudden you're saying, oh, my whole day is ruined because this motherfucker at Starbucks, they ain't make my coffee the way I want it.
But then you go over there in like Syria or Libya, they're getting bombed every day. You know what I'm saying? They're getting bombed every day.
And it's like
They don't know what they're getting. They don't know if they're getting bombed or it could be something else. But you know, you don't. Basically, they live in fear every day. They lose people every day.
and it's like that's pretty much a good day to them. Is they got something to eat that day, and it wasn't any bombings any that day, because I remember I distinctly remember it was this one news anchor that was out over in Syria. Because she was like, I guess they had downtime during the news report. Yeah. And I guess it was like a group of kids out there. I guess she was interviewing the kids, talking to them, all that. Yeah, right in the middle of the damn broadcast, fucking bombs started dropping and shit. Yeah. Like all the kids, whatever they had in their hand, they dropped whatever they was doing and took off. Yep. They told the cameraman, oh, come with us. And they ran inside the building and shit. And it was like,
that's every day.
They were sitting there after all the smoke cleared, they laughing and giggling and shit. They like,
because it's normal.
And like exactly, and that's exactly one of the kids like said to the reporter, like this is every day for us. He's like, he's like, man, my best friend, that motherfucker, like we were just playing yesterday. Right. Later that damn night, roadside bomb, like bang, gone.
Killed him, killed him and stuff. You know?
And a lot of people we don't realize that because we're too focused on what's going on in our small sheltered life.
And the stuff that doesn't need to be in the light, like these stupid ass challenges and stuff like that. They're too busy worried about that or the next trend or the next this and that instead of using our smartphones and the internet to do a little bit more research on the world, taking a look at the world, because remember, it's not just the United States, it's the world. But, people have their own opinions, so.
But, and people will sit there and like, it's pretty much, and when it comes to helping out others, it's not even about doing it for helping them. It's like, what can we get in return for helping you?
Or it's for likes and comments on Instagram or something like that. Because I've seen that when one person posts that, like they say, you shouldn't go on Instagram. You shouldn't post a video on Instagram of you going around helping the homeless. You should be doing that off camera. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. But it's really not. You can't really blame the homeless because everybody has their own story and their own struggles and their own adventures and stuff like that. But there is ways, as you can see, like all these donations that we get to all these organizations, but all these charities and organizations, but yet why is poverty so high? And it's like all these millions of dollars that we could be given to these organizations and charities, we could be given to the homeless. Like, I'm not saying just throwing out money, just chucking money at homeless people, say, here, take this, you go get a house. You go get a house, But I'm saying as of you gather up all the homeless, you sit them down in the area, you go through a process and see what, at least take the time to see what they've been through. And then you determine on what the results of what their background is, then you can give them the money or the help or the need. And then if they fall back to their old habits, then I can see you stripping the access to it, because there is money that can help them out. It's just that nobody cares, pretty much. Nobody cares, and the homeless are people too. They're not just a piece of trash on the side of the road. And that's somebody's aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, cousins, sister, brother, you know?
Exactly. Sometimes it's like good to sit down and speak with people because half the time, like most of the time, the people that you maybe went to school with, people that you work with, a lot of times you don't even know that. You ain't even know like maybe 5 or 6 of them are homeless. Are homeless because you got a home to go to. You don't care if they're asking like you could have like a coworker that you worked with for 3, 4, 5 years, and you didn't know for about most of that they were homeless. They were living up. You see them drive off in their car.
Right, but they probably living in that car or living in a shelter or living in a box for all you know.
They might drive off or some shit like they might look clean and all that every damn day, but a lot of times you don't even know like or if like they was homeless or shit or they squatting in a damn abandoned house somewhere because you like it's like that's why I say it's ridiculous because that's why I say in this world, man, we like it all starts with you starting to care about the next man.
Yeah.
Starting to like because the more you sit there and like say, all right, like, I'm not getting anything out of helping you, then there's like what are we really accomplishing?
Right, it's just like they say, karma's a bitch. It really is, because if you can't take the time out of your day to help somebody, at least doesn't matter if you help them out and they use it for for malicious ways or for to better themselves. You helping them brings good energy and all that other stuff. So you might help somebody and they might actually turn their life around, and then you see them the next time they're driving a car, they got their house, you know what I'm saying, and they see you and they're like, oh yeah, remember you helped me, and then blah blah blah, then you know what I'm saying, y'all might hang out and have something in common. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, but like nobody ever takes the time to actually look and actually you speak with others. Say you walking like just because you walking around mad and shit, like the old saying, misery loves company.
Yeah.
And like just because you mad, you don't want everybody else to have a good day.
Right.
Because just because you want to be sitting there fucking feeling hostile, you sit there trying to mess somebody else's day.
Right.
Because
you might be Uncle Scrooge.
Because like you never know. You said you like shit, whatever the hell you mad at might be trivial compared to what's going on with somebody else.
Right.
Because they probably went through a lot of worse, or had like some shit that they did happen this morning.
Right.
They could sit there and like it could be a lot of times worse than what happened to you, but you wouldn't know. It's like you can sit there and see an old man, his damn wife passed away. Let's say his wife passed away the night before.
Right.
And you won't even know shit because like he got a smile on his face and all that. Like McDonald's ain't had the coffee you wanted, so how you mad? It's like now you pissed off and now you trying to make him feel upset and all that shit. But it's like I said, just your problems may be trivial compared to someone else's.
Exactly.
And that's why I always say you got to sit down and speak with people sometimes because when it comes to it's also it helps when it comes to spreading like knowledge and stuff like that too because it's like one thing you can always learn from other people.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like certain shit that you may not have known that they may know of.
And the thing is, you're supposed to learn from other people, especially if they're good at, or especially if they making it in life, or not even making it in life, just going about life in a good way, and you hang with that person, or you be around that person, you'll experience the same happiness or joy. But then you'll understand why that person is happy every day because of what the stuff that they've done. But certain, I guess you could say, is certain upbringing.
Because that always plays a big factor in what goes on in people's lives. But also the thing is, like, you can't sit there and let the past define who you are. Though, like, oh, my parents was never there. That's why I act like this way.
Right.
Well, there's motherfuckers whose parents ain't been there either, but they don't sit there and dawn on that.
Right.
It's like
they turn their lives around. Or they say, I'm not going to be like my parent. So I'm gonna do better and better myself, and then better, if I have children, better my children, and then they'll follow.
Because they always say, you can't be stuck in the past when it comes to certain things, and you can't be sitting there being trying to dawn on what happened or this, that, and the other, or I ain't get enough love as a kid, because that's why I'm sitting there acting the way I do.
Right.
That's why I'm sitting there doing this, that, and the other. Like,
Excuses.
I was like, okay, yeah.
That's all it is, excuses.
And so my brother was on drugs, so I'm gonna be on drugs too. Okay. That's why I say you can't sit there and try to blame your actions on someone else.
Right.
Like, it's like it wasn't your mother that shot that needle in your damn arm. It was you.
Right. It was you. You control your own actions.
Or it's like me. It's like, you ran into that damn building over there. You can't say it's because you was mad at somebody else. It was you.
Right.
And
Or I can't say, oh, I saw my dad smack his friend, so it's good to smack him, Or I seen my best friend shoot that guy, so I'm gonna follow behind his footsteps. It's just people need to stay out of the bandwagon and be different. That's the thing. Some people are scared to be different. Be you. Be yourself.
Because like at the end of the day, yourself is the only person you really can sit there and rely on. Because and I ain't gonna just say like you can rely on other people, but like ultimately, at the end of the day, it's only yourself that's may benefit or get negatively affected by whatever actions.
Right.
It's ultimately your action that will affect you on how you become as a person and how you may take force on certain things. Because just because you've done something wrong, you can't sit there and say that it's because of somebody else.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it was up to your decision on whether or not you want to do that or not. Because, like I said, accepting accountability is key.
Right.
Because it's like because trying to find scapegoats is not gonna. It's only gonna go so far.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just like it's just you, and it's just you. And there's the people that you surround yourself around.
Yeah.
If you don't change you first, if you gotta change you first, then eventually the people you surround yourself around will eventually change accordingly.
Yeah.
Because if you want to sit there and be sitting there pointing the blame on everybody and be Mr. Deadbeat and not do shit,
Right.
then more likely you're gonna surround yourself by motherfuckers that ain't motivated to do anything better with them themselves.
Exactly.
Then 5-10 years from now, y'all gonna be in that same predicament together.
And you're wondering why years ago, you're wondering why you should have gotten, this brand new car, this house, or different things, but yet you messed it up. Because you spent 10 years doing the same thing in that loop, doing the same thing with the people that are basically crabs in the bucket, bringing you down and doing the same thing that they're doing.
Because man, that's all I can really sit there and like you said, crabs in the bucket, because you're only it's like pretty much you're only who you let yourself be, define yourself as. But let me see, like you have any pretty much have any last words to leave with the people?
Pretty much said all I had to say.
Because other than that, man, it's like I said, you gotta sit there and you can't sit there and put the blame on everyone else. And like I said before, accountability is key, because accountability is key and knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's only so much you can do as a person. At the end of the day, it's ultimately you and the company you keep. Because without like you being able to better yourself, then what do you have?
Right.
Yes.
Surround yourself with just successful people.
And successful falling to you.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much that will mark the end of the show. And like I always say, in this world, we are not told we are loved enough. So I'll tell you all, I love you. And make sure you tune in for the next episode.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that went pretty well.
Yeah.
I think that went pretty well.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.